We never notice the supply chain until the basics go missing. Think about it. The last time you thought about eggs before they started costing $15 a dozen, or toilet paper before we were fighting over it during COVID. And don't get me started on the word tariffs. I'm sure even if you don't know what it means, we can all agree that we'll all be feeling its impact. I work in the supply chain, and that means that I'm responsible for making sure the right thing gets to the right place at the right time for the right cost, more or less. And there are 4 parts to it. You plan, you source, you make, and you deliver. And this simple system runs the world. I'm so happy to be one of the people that keeps the world running. So I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of the things that I've learned about life so far in this crazy career. So 5:45 a.m. was the time that I had to catch the bus to get to school. So I grew up on a small island. It's in the Caribbean. You might know it. It's called Jamaica. And that meant that because I wanted to go to the best high school, it was 2 hours away by bus. So my mornings would look like this. 5 a.m., my mom would wake me up. I'd say she'd tag me in, and it was a sprint to get showered, get dressed, grab my stuff, and get out the door to grab the bus to school. I was always optimizing for sleep. So I knew that I could save 30 minutes if I ironed my clothes the night before, or 5 minutes if I grabbed breakfast to go, or 15 minutes if I went to bed earlier the night before and then did my homework or studying on the bus. And I complained a lot. But in Jamaica, we have a saying that says, if you want good, you know have to run. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Jamaican patois, that just means that anything you want in life that's good, you have to work hard for it. In more polished terms, my mom would say, it builds character. But at 5 a.m., I'm sorry, Mom, but I did not want my character to be built. This girl just wanted sleep. So I was up and on the bus by 5:45 a.m. every morning. So while I don't have decades of supply chain experience, I've been managing, planning, executing, and optimizing for most of my life. And that's probably the reason why, to this day, every Monday I make my "so I don't crash out this week" list. And that helps me to plan the things that I need to execute and execute on the things that I need to deliver. Because how else am I going to manage a demanding job, a new promotion, deepen my marriage? Hello. Eat healthy, stay connected with my family, stay connected with friends, make new friends, and change the world. It has to be planned. Earlier, I mentioned that there are 4 parts of the supply chain, right? You plan, you source, you make, and you deliver. But how do you actually do that when the world looks like? When there's a global pandemic or the government introduces new tariffs. When everything is on backorder. You diversify your sources so you don't become dependent on one form of supply. You build resilience. And it's the same thing I've realized about life, because no one form of validation from my job or my partner or my family was going to keep me going. It was the balance of them all. And when that wasn't working, I reminded of myself of the girl that woke up at 5 a.m. in the morning because she wanted the best education on the island. That's the character I built. Well, according to my mom, at least. So if you find yourself in a backorder moment where you've planned and you've worked and you've executed and still things aren't coming true, I implore you to diversify your sources of fulfillment and find joy. And when that doesn't work, you remind yourself of the character you've built. the person who can do hard things and have done hard things and will continue to do hard things. Because when things are on back order, it doesn't mean that something good isn't coming. It just means that something even better is being built. And I promise you that when it finally ships, it will be worth the wait.